A few weeks ago, I made a game for the GMTK Game Jam. If you don't know what that is, it's a game competition where we have 4 days to make a game based on a theme. This year's theme was Loop. The game I made was pretty good, especially for being made in just 4 days and being something like my 5th game ever. My game also did rank pretty highly. After originally finishing my game, I thought I could make it better, so that's what I'm going to spend the next few weeks doing. This update could be split into 3 parts: code cleanup, new content, and finally balancing and polishing. Making a game in 4 days can lead to some questionable code. The first thing I wanted to improve on was the visual connections between upgrades. This is because if I want a connector, I have to duplicate an already existing connector, scale it, position it, align it, then I need to assign it in the inspector, all for one connector. And that's too much. The way I wanted to fix this was to have a script that would automatically draw lines in between each upgrade. After some research, I found out that drawing lines in UI is a little different from drawing lines normally, needing a special plugin to make it easier. And after a bit of programming, it worked. Mostly. Okay, maybe there were some bumps. Right after this, I made even more quality of life changes for me. Things like this background tint drop down, and better variable sorting in the inspector. I also redid a ton of other things just to make the game flow better. I reworked enemy knockback, the upgrade tree's UI, and many other things. The first bit of new content I added was locking upgrades. This allowed players to choose their own path, adding variation to each run. Right after this, I added 2 new player abilities. One had the player's circle explode and damage all enemies, while another one spawned mines randomly, and if an enemy were to hit that mine, it would explode, damaging all other nearby enemies. These mines could also have chain reactions. I also added 3 new enemies, each of them having their own unique gimmick. One enemy is able to explode just like the mines. While making this enemy, I also had like 1 to 2 memory leaks from the way I coded explosions, but those are fixed now. I also promise this is the last explosion themed thing. One enemy shoots projectiles at the player while slowly approaching them, and the final enemy is ranged, but can't move, needing to be shot with the ranged triangle projectile, which has to be unlocked before this enemy can be bought and spawned. Now, this wasn't all the new content I added. I also added an entire new currency called bits. You unlock bits a bit later into the game, but it has some great perks, being used to unlock locked upgrade paths from the new upgrade locking mechanic, and being used to buy more money upgrades. Bits are dropped from 2 special enemies, with one being a small bits enemy that drops 1 bit and has an abstract circle shape, and a big bits enemy that drops 2 bits and has a diamond shape. You can also upgrade your bits multiplier through upgrades. The final big thing I did was redo the upgrade tree. I redid the old upgrade paths for more clarity and added a ton of lockable upgrade paths around the tree so the player can choose a different path each time they play. I made sure to add some of these branching paths early on to introduce the player to the new mechanic. I also, of course, had to add in the new player abilities and enemies, which made the upgrade tree a lot bigger. I also changed how winning worked. Before, you had to buy all the enemy upgrades to unlock the win upgrade. Then, buy the win upgrade to beat the game. I thought this was confusing for the player, so I changed it so now there are 3 win fragments scattered around the upgrade tree being placed at the end of each major branch, these branches being money, damage, and health. Each fragment explains that you need to buy all the other win fragments to win, and each time the player buys a win fragment, their saw turns a bit golden. And once they have all the fragments, their saw turns completely gold and the win screen shows up with some confetti. With all this new content added, I only had a few more things to do, with the main one being balancing. I spent around 6 to 7 days just playing my game and making sure everything was just right. I made sure all the prices of upgrades, the values of upgrade stat increases, enemy damage, and so on were just right. I did also end up getting burnt out near the end of this, because playing your own game for a few hours at a time can get pretty boring. But it was all worth it in the end. I am kind of glossing over this section because it's really boring just playing your own game for hours at a time, and there isn't much to talk about other than I fixed a few things and got everything working how I wanted to. But one thing I noticed was that I halved the average time to beat my game. The average time to beat the game on normal difficulty went from around 30 minutes down to just 15 minutes. I do feel that the original version of my game became grindy and slow in progress, especially towards the end. But with this new version and the amount of new content crammed into the game makes it way more enjoyable. But even with this shorter time to beat the game, players could end up playing the game for longer compared to the original version. This is for a few reasons. One, because they could replay the game, and with this new choose your own adventure style of upgrade tree, they may pick a different path of upgrades. 2, because they could try a different difficulty. And 3, the player could try out infinite mode, which I updated for the new enemies. So with all this new content, the player could still end up playing for 30 minutes. But playtime isn't what matters. Fun is. Yeah, this video took a little bit too long to make, and I may have released version 2.0 like a month ago, and I may have also spent a little too long playing Silksong and Hollow Knight, but hey, I finished the video. I just have a few final things to say. First, I have a Discord. I've had this Discord for a bit now, but I'm gonna try to push it more, since I seem to have at least some sort of an audience now. Next, I plan to release Spinblade on mobile. I don't really know exactly how to convert my game to mobile, but I'll try, as I've heard a lot of people say that Spinblade would be a really good mobile game. I plan to make a video on this, so expect that in a few months. I also am not going to add any form of ads into this game, as I think ads are stupid and annoying. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed watching and see you eventually.